So the first tool here is a JESMA favorite. It was first devised by the military, and it was adapted by the Red Cross, and it's called an after-action review. We lovingly call it the AAR. And it's basically a chart that lays out, this is the actual one that we use for our programs. You can put different things in the vertical column, but the idea is to look at the various parts of planning and implementing a program and determining what went right, what went wrong, what would you want to be sure to retain in the future or change, things that need to be changed, and then if there are actionable follow-up items, they go in the last column. And so the way that we do it is that as involved, sit around it, fill out the form privately, and then sit around a table. We compile it together, and we talk about what went into each of the cells. So in terms of the planning process, a strength might be that it included input from all of the stakeholders. A weakness might be that it wasn't started in enough time. What we want to retain or change in the future might be to retain the strength and to begin the process a month in advance. And so the follow-up would be to create a calendar to block out the planning process. So you get the gist. I am using this same technique with a number of consultations that I'm doing right now that involve professional development for purposes of implementing a new program. And each time that we meet, I and the program provider group, we go through the after-action review and develop actionable items going forward. So, comments, questions. This is kind of a quick and easy thing to do. It requires honesty, but if the purpose is to improve the product, it is a very powerful tool. The other trick is don't wait too long after the event to do it. And if it's an ongoing program, you might want to do this several times along the way. Questions? Okay. So going from something kind of light-handed and easy to something much more heavy and rigorous. I'll give you a little bit of background. This is a real tool that I used a while back for an intensive evaluation of an intensive professional development program for early childhood educators. It was a multi-year program. The teachers had coursework. They had what at that time we didn't know to call a community of practice. They had various kinds of interventions in their classroom. They had mentors, etc. And the goal was to change their practice in the classroom. They were taught strategies. They were taught Jewish content knowledge. They were taught about various forms of pedagogy. There were very specific outcomes that the program was looking to achieve in terms of things like the way that teachers organized and utilized their classrooms as educational settings. There were very specific outcomes that were being looked for in terms of teacher behaviors and practice in the classroom, such as usage of Hebrew under certain circumstances, Judaic content, Jewish values, the integration of Judaic and general content, and some other ancillary things. So the way we went about doing the evaluation was I did classroom observations of what were the veterans, the graduates of the program, and I did a comparison because I came in at the end of the program to do the evaluation. This wasn't an ongoing evaluation. We did it with other teachers in the same schools who had not participated in this PD program. And I went in blind, meaning I didn't know whether the teacher that I was observing at the particular time was either a graduate of the program or someone who had not participated. And I did observations in the classrooms looking for the outcomes that were desired. And as you see, there's a very structured protocol. I went in and I did things in, I believe, it's been a while, 18-minute segments, and in a classroom, but that was subdivided into shorter intervals. I had the description of what was going on at the top, and then one piece of it was, as I said, one of the goals was to change the way that they organize and utilize their classroom. So very, very specific things that I was looking for in terms of Visuals Manipulatives Learning Center's classroom organization. And I coded for each of these outcomes positive occurrences and missed opportunities. So that, for example, if there was a housekeeping corner in the classroom and there were, those wooden Shabbat kits that the kids could use for playing Shabbat, and there was a challah cover, and there was the plastic challah, etc., that would be a plus. If there were no Jewish artifacts in the housekeeping center, then that would be a missed opportunity, and that would get a minus. So that was part one of the observation, and then part two was an observation of what was going on in the classroom. So as I sat in there for specific periods of time, I was listening for usage of Hebrew in particular contexts, Judaic content, etc. I don't have to go through this. And where I saw it, I would note what it was in the right-hand column under each area, and then code it as a plus or a minus. When I went back afterwards and did the comparisons, I had a summary chart that I didn't include here, but to really look at, to be able to compare incidences of positive occurrences and missed opportunities, and only then did we look at whether these were the Bogrot or the Charashot, the graduates or the newbies who hadn't been in the program. This observation protocol could also have been used on a timed basis. So at the beginning of the program, before they took part, and to look at progress. But this gives you an idea of how you could on the spot gather data to measure outcomes. The key is you have to know what you're looking for before you go in there.